Record. -4. Pause. Button. -4.
Well, I'm back, and the other thing I wanted to do was call out another YouTube channel. Another religious fear-mongering nutcase of a bloke doing his videos every Sunday in American time. He is a nutcase. He is an idiot. He's one of these religious people that uses religion to manipulate his... Now, how should I say it again? He's one of these nutcases that will deliberately use religion to give disinformation about science. So he believes a certain religious doctrine or dogma. He has to make up a heap of crap about science and biology and all that is completely fake in order to suit his worldview and confirm his biased opinions. It's called confirmation bias. Now, he claims, because he's a donkey, he claims that when you get sick with a virus, well, first of all, he thinks going into lockdown compromises your immune system. In fact, it does not. He's an idiot. He does not have a clue what immune system compromising even is. He wouldn't have a clue. Secondly, he thinks being exposed to the COVID virus makes your body immune to it. In fact, no, it doesn't. Yeah, you get sick, you produce antibodies, but the antibodies fight that virus. When you get sick again, you don't have your antibodies to fight that virus. So you produce antibodies, your body gets rid of the virus. Those antibodies do not stay around in your body for more than 3 months. After that, if you get infected with the virus again, you have to produce more antibodies. You don't keep your antibodies. See, people believe outdated information. What we used to think about germs is you get a germ, you treat it with antibiotics if it's a bacteria. If you've got AIDS, you take medication, blah, blah, blah. Even then, people used to think AIDS was contagious, which it kind of is, but it's not. It depends on how you get it. So it kind of is contagious, but it's not airborne. What we know about immunity is not the same as we used to think. You get sick, not that you used to get sick, you used to think that when you get an illness, you can't get the same illness again. Well, now we know that's not true. Now we know that your body can get infected over and over again, and even if you've got antibodies that will help you fight off the virus again, it's not stopping you from getting the virus. The antibodies don't stop you getting sick. There are some germs that your body will fight off before you get sick because you're exposed to germs every day and you have to keep making antibodies to fight germs. The problem with that is, if you happen to get really sick one day from the same germs that you're used to getting, those antibodies aren't going to help you because they want to fight the germs, but the germs are too strong. So those antibodies don't work for you because the germ eats through those antibodies. We know differently about germs now. We know that your body is capable of fighting off germs most of the time. But just because you get exposed to illness and just because you go outside all the time and just because you have a strong immune system doesn't prove that you can fight off a virus every time without medical attention, without having to take medication and get vaccinated and all that. The idiot also lied, again, by saying that there's no pill for a virus. There is a shot. There is a pill. He's in denial. He is deliberately, it's cognitive dissonance. He's deliberately mixing up what he knows in order to disprove and somehow make doctors look bad. So if he can say that you get sick, there's nothing that you can do to get rid of a virus. Look, there is. The only problem is doctors like you to fight off the viruses on your own because they want to keep those medications for people who can't fight the virus, so they get sick and then they get worse instead of getting better. They're the ones who need medication. Usually you fight off a virus on your own and you're okay. But this guy, he's a liar. He claims that there is no treatment for COVID when there actually is. He also says that getting exposed to germs every day helps you fight off COVID. Well, no, it doesn't, because you can get blood clots and die. Your body may not be strong enough to fight COVID, so you may not produce antibodies. COVID supposedly makes people produce antibodies. Well, some people don't produce antibodies, so then they get really sick and sometimes they die. Sometimes people produce antibodies and yet they can still get sick because the antibodies do not prevent you from getting sick. They slow down the illness enough that maybe you might not be as bad, or maybe you can stave off the worst of your symptoms for a few days, but eventually your antibodies are not going to just stop you from getting really sick. They work sometimes, they don't work other times. Antibodies are not as reliable as we think they are. And your body is created to fight illness, but that doesn't mean it can just do it on its own without any help. So this lying donkey is being exposed. He's being called out. And if he wants to challenge me, he'll be getting busted, because he has deliberately misinformed his congregation, by using confirmation bias. He's very biased. He has a religious viewpoint that he is biased towards, so he has to give us false information about science. He has to deliberately twist the facts to suit his view. He has to deliberately deny what he knows in order to strengthen his religious conviction. Very sure that's a very, very Christian thing to do. Not. Another one of these I'm Christians but I'm not a Christian type of guy. And his voice gives him away. His voice gives him the I'm pretending to be religious, look at me, but I'm not religious kind of mentality. He's the kind of religious person that, in all reality, he needs psychiatric medication. Yeah, he definitely needs psych meds. He's delusional, schizophrenic, and psychotic. He doesn't want to get treatment for COVID because he knows that if he did that, he would have to throw away his viewpoints and probably change religions, maybe. Or he could stay Christian, but he would have to change his attitude on Christianity real quick. He would have to go from being a radical, super extremist donkey to just being a normal, everyday Christian. You know, but if you have a read of the New Testament yourself in your own time, you will find that Jesus talked about freaks like this bloke. He talked about false teachers and freak extremism and radicalism and all that. He talked about all that, warned everyone to be careful. It's okay to be Christian, it's okay to be religious, but being an extremist freak about it is not good. Not, being radicalised, is not good. So this bloke is a lying donkey, and he said a few things that are blatantly false, and I decided I would call him out on it. And his channel is End Time Headlines, and he has Rumble and Apple Podcasts. So, yeah, he's spouting off a lot of shit that is completely out of touch with reality. Yeah, he definitely needs to be shut down real quick. I have flagged his latest video. I definitely think he has a point where testing is concerned. If you get a test and it's a virus, you can get treatment for the virus, but usually you kill it off yourself unless you happen to get really, really sick. But the only thing is, your antibodies that your body makes to kill the virus isn't going to kill the next virus. The antibodies are only there to get rid of that virus. Once that virus goes away, those antibodies die off. Your body, when you recover from a virus, doesn't need those antibodies anymore. Maybe it keeps them for several weeks or several months. Maybe those antibodies stay around for a while, but they eventually die off. And you have to keep all this muscle memory about viruses, where your body remembers that virus forever. That's fake. That's not scientific. That's a fallacy. Your body cannot remember a virus forever. That's a joke. Yes, viruses are different from bacteria. They're a different protein. They need different drugs than an antibiotic. Antibiotics kill bacteria. Retrovirus drugs kill viruses. There are lots of treatments for viruses, but if your body can cope and produce enough antibodies to kill that virus, and there's a lot more than antibodies, you've got several different types of white blood cells and all that, then usually you don't need medication. So that's correct. But the rest of it, he has taken the information that is true and he has deliberately mixed it up with false information. So he's deceiving people. He's a deceiver. He is a lying donkey and he's a deceiving idiot. So I'm calling him out on his devilish activities. He doesn't scare me. All he does is make himself look stupid, and I'm going to call him out. I do hope people boycott the channel. There are lots of Christian channels I'm getting rid of because they're all fake and they're all full of hoaxes and they all turn everything into a joke. I'm not suggesting the Bible is lying about pestilences and diseases. I'm not suggesting the Bible is false. I'm just saying that this bloke is spouting off a whole heap of false information to try and make the Bible appear more true, but all he's doing is ruining his credibility about what he does believe in the Bible, because the Bible doesn't become more false or less trustworthy because someone chooses to be deceptive and misuse the Bible. Just because something is misused doesn't make it wrong. It makes the person... It's like the gun. You misuse a gun, you kill someone. The gun isn't wrong. You're the one who's wrong for misusing the gun. The Bible has a lot of information. We take the information of the Bible, we twist the information to suit our interpretation, and we stuff up what we read in the Bible. That's not the Bible's fault, that's our fault. So we take something that's true and we twist it into something stupid like this bloke's doing. Oh, Jesus said there'd be pestilences. That means that this virus is going to kill us, but the American government's lying to us. It's just the virus will be fine. Yet Jesus actually said that pestilences would kill us. Okay, and now this bloke is trying to make Jesus look like an idiot. So I'm going to bust this guy for being an idiot. You know, telling us Jesus said this, Jesus said that, and then turning around going, you'll be right, you'll produce antibodies. If you stay locked down, if you stay isolated, you'll have a compromised immune system. Like, well, no, that's not true. No. Some years more viruses get around than other years. It's not because of lockdowns. It's just because of how biology works, where germs, you know, every few months a new germ will make the rounds and your body has to get used to that germ. And in a few years' time, the same germ gets around again because your body forgets ever fighting that germ. It just doesn't remember fighting it off. So germs get around and play havoc during certain times and taper off at other times. It's just how biology works. Sometimes people get really sick and the virus plays havoc on their body for several months. They may never get that virus again. And we're still trying to scientifically find out, well, how come sometimes you'll never get a virus again, other times you'll get the same virus 50 times. It's a mystery. Maybe there is a grain of truth in what this bloke says, that the body can remember viruses. But in saying that, most of the time, which is where this bloke is totally off kilter and mentally unhinged and completely wrong, most of the time your body fights off a germ that you get sick from, and you can get reinfected because you don't actually build up immunity. Your body gets rid of the virus because your immune system gets rid of stuff, but you haven't built up immunity. You've just built antibodies which got rid of the virus, and then your immune system will go back to normal, where you have the capacity for being susceptible to that same illness again. So just because you've gotten exposed to that virus doesn't mean you're immune to it. Doesn't mean that next time you won't get sick. I don't know where people used to get all that information from, where your immune system magically remembers illnesses and you don't get sick, or you just keep getting better at fighting off viruses. I don't know where people get that misinformation from. It's a complete load of shit. It's not real. It's not true. All this building up immunity stuff is a myth. You don't build immunity. You can keep a healthy immune system that won't stop you from getting ill, but instead of dying from the germ that you get, you might get very sick and then you'll eventually get better instead of just straight up dying. Yes, you can have a healthy immune system, you can have an unhealthy immune system. It can be very high, it can be very low. All of that is definitely correct. But just because of those factors doesn't mean it's true that you can magically not get sick or magically be immune to an illness. And this bloke is a liar yet again. He obviously does not understand how vaccines work. Vaccines have part of a virus protein or the entire virus that has been killed and processed so that when it's in your body has to keep producing antibodies to fight it off over and over and over and over again. It thinks you're sick. It then fights through it. You have a bit of a reaction. When that's gone, your body is like, wait, I need to keep producing immune system to keep getting rid of the virus so that it doesn't keep making me sick. So obviously when your body gets sick, it wants to protect itself. It has to make immune system cells, white blood cells, to keep healing you, to prevent you from always getting sick, to stop you from getting that illness. Your body keeps feeling like it's... The vaccine essentially tricks you. Oh, I'm going to get the flu. Oh shit, I need to get rid of it. I'm going to get tetanus. No, I can't let that happen. I got sick last time. When all it is the vaccine continuously making your body not get sick from that. So vaccines work similar to getting an actual virus, but then they, unlike a virus, the vaccine has a time frame, say 5 years, 10 years, 3 months. The tetanus vaccine has a 10-year lifespan. So every time you're exposed to the tetanus germ, instead of getting lockjaw, that vaccine is activated, so your body thinks, wait, I've got lockjaw, I have to fight it off because I'm dying. So then suddenly you realise, wait, I didn't get lockjaw. Okay, the vaccine has made my body fight off whatever germ I've got that causes tetanus. So rather than actually getting the disease, your body is still fighting that off for 10 years. So then you get an injury, and then that injury gets cleaned out by whatever the vaccine has, the antibodies in it, that keeps reproducing. Eventually it stops working, so you've got to get a new vaccine. Viruses don't actually do that, nor do bacteria. They get into your body, they wreak havoc, and they possibly might kill you, but they don't make an immunity. Because once they're gone, your body's like, okay, I've gotten better, finally. Let's presume you get better from tetanus if you get sick from it, which you usually don't, but if you presumably get better, your body is not immune. It's just like, okay, I magically survived, I fought that bug off, I'm okay. It's not the same as having a vaccine that your body is able to keep producing antibodies against. So then when you get the real germ, your body has those antibodies and the germ goes away. It doesn't make you sick, or you're not going to get the tetanus disease. You might get a bit sick, but you're not going to get a major illness. And it's supposed to be the case with the flu virus too. But when I get the flu vaccine, I still react very badly to the flu virus. It doesn't make my body produce antibodies against the flu, and I don't know why. They just don't work. They just do not work. So my GP is currently reviewing my vaccination history to find out why some vaccines are not working. And she'll just start from square one, trial and error with various antiviral vaccines. Maybe the flu vaccine I got was the wrong one, or maybe I got it when I was getting the flu and I didn't know I was getting the flu. So if you're getting the flu and you get a vaccine, the vaccine doesn't work because you're getting the flu. You get the flu vaccine, a few days later the flu kicks in, but the vaccine doesn't work and it gets... So if you're getting the flu and you happen to get the vaccine at the same time and then you realise 3 days later that you're sick, the vaccine fully disintegrates it. It fully stops working. When you're over the flu, you have to then wait for another 3 months to get the new flu vaccine. The problem is the previous one is gone. So in order for the previous flu vaccine that you get, in order for that to work, you have to get the vaccine and not have the flu within 2 weeks. So you've got the vaccine and it takes 2 weeks to kick in, and you cannot be exposed to the flu at that time. If you get exposed to the flu within 14 days of getting the vaccine, it stops the vaccine from working. So there's a huge problem. So anyone who says that locking yourself away for 2 weeks when you've had a needle because you want your immune system to get used to that vaccine so that it works properly, anybody who says that being isolated will compromise your immune system is a complete dickhead. They don't have a clue about science, they don't have a clue about reality, and they need psychiatric treatment. So, you know, honestly, some people are just weird. And, yeah, I don't know what to say. I'm quite baffled.
Pause. Stop. Button.
Anyway, I'm going to get going and I will upload this recording. And, yeah, I will do another one soon.
Stop. Button.